Okay.
All right, we're live. They should be coming in now.
All right, good evening to those of you coming in. We're just going to wait a few more moments as more people join this session. We want to thank you for joining the session on becoming a Prince George's Community College Scholar. Come on in, get comfortable, grab your glass of water, maybe a little snack, and be prepared to learn about Prince George's Community College. As you are coming in, I want to inform you that this session is being recorded so we can have access to it later. As I mentioned earlier, I am Raymond Harrod. I am course coordinator for Oxon Hill High School. And joining me today to assist with this presentation, or actually to present this presentation, is Ms. Kiara Gardner and Mr. Matt Kilzo, who are with our special scholarships at Prince George's Community College. And we also have two students, Mr. Giovanni and Mr. Ilham, who are going to also be able to share their perspective. So I do invite you to use the question and answer feature within the webinar to ask any of your questions. We'll be monitoring that. And then we ask that you give your attention to Ms. Gardner, who will be sharing a presentation. So Ms. Gardner, I'm turning it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Raymond, for the introduction. My name is Kiara Gardner. I will be speaking to you all today about becoming a Pgcc scholar. So thank you for joining our session. Also on the call today, we have Mr. Matt Kuzo, who is, went too far, sorry. Mr. Matt Kuzo, who works with me in the Office of the Special Scholarships Program. Mr. Matt and I are the coordinators of the program, and we work alongside Miss Kim Johnson, who was the manager of the program. I do apologize. Our contact information is on the screens. So take a screenshot of this, please, and you can reach out to us at any time with questions about looking for funds to attend Prince George's Community College. Our email address is also in the chat. During this presentation, please utilize that chat feature to ask any questions that you have. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Special Scholarships Program, what that is, and some of our grants and scholarships that fall under that umbrella. And then we're going to discuss some additional scholarship opportunities available exclusively to Pgcc students. And then we're actually going to hear from some current Pgcc students that is former dual enrollment. And you'll have the opportunity to ask them questions in the chat as well. I'm clicking way too far. I'm so sorry. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Special Scholarships Program. So as a dual enrollment student, you may be eligible to receive the Dual to Degree grant or the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship. By participating in either scholarship, you will fall under the Special Scholarships Program umbrella and will be able to take advantage of the many benefits of being in that program and attending Pgcc as a former dual enrollment student. So there are requirements that students must meet when they're in the Special Scholarships Program, which includes maintaining a 2.5 GPA, submitting progress reports, and completing service hours. But that's nothing compared to the benefits that students gain just by participating in the program. So on the screen is some of those benefits that students receive. So just for being a dual enrollment student, you may receive between 50 to 100% of your tuition and fees covered. You also have personalized academic advising. There's a group of dedicated peers that will support you in achieving your goals. Students have the opportunity to participate in workshops and events geared toward personal and professional development and transferring. And then there are service, leadership, and involvement opportunities. Students who join the Dual 2 degree program, once they've finished high school, receive 50% off of their tuition, which is major. And the remaining 50% can be covered from other grants and scholarships that are available to students. We have 2 amazing academic advisors that meet with all of our scholarship students. Students are required to meet with them at least once a semester to just talk about their educational goals, their career goals. Our advisors help forecast their academic plans. So they talk about what classes you should be taking. They connect students to resources to help them be more successful in their courses. And just pretty much anything. Our academic advisors are really here to support the students in any way that they can. Just as the scholarship staff, myself, Matt, and Kim is here to do. Our program has a ton of student leaders. Our student leaders assist us in orientation. They assist us in planning and implementing our workshops for students, our large scale events. One of the requirements of students in the program is that they must attend our scholarship nights. Our scholarship nights have different themes towards them. Students can learn about financial literacy, wellness, transfer opportunities. We try to make it as exciting and informative for all students so that when they leave one of the events, they are leaving with some new information, whether it's for personal, professional, or academic. And the students must complete service hours. So service hours can be completed through participation in community service events, involvement in different campus activities, or even as serving as a student leader. We really try to support the student in being the best individual that they be in all aspects of their life, not just academically. We want you to graduate from Prince George's Community College with something new, some new information, something you didn't learn in high school, something you may not know about in your part-time or full-time job. We really try to make our workshops and events and anything really just the best thing for students, okay? So we're gonna move into additional scholarship opportunities. So because you're a dual enrollment student, you may already be able to receive this 50% tuition discount, which is amazing. But because you're a dual enrollment student in PGCPS, you may also be eligible to receive the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship, which will pay for 100% of your tuition and fees at Prince George's Community College. We're going to drill into the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship a little bit because this opportunity is amazing for PGCPS students if you're found eligible, and the application process is just great. And Matt, if you don't mind just, oh no, did the website come up? I'm sorry.
Just to let everybody know, the website link is in the chat to find out more information about the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship.
Did the website come up for you all?
No, we can't quite see it on our screen, Kiara.
Okay. You just give me a moment because I would like to walk you all through. Okay. I've never done the webinar feature, so please forgive me. Okay, how about now?
We got it, perfect.
All right, is it the full screen?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, thank you about, okay. So this is the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship. Matt actually just put the link in the chat. I would encourage every student on this call to visit this link and read more about the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship. This scholarship is designed to help students complete their education beyond federal, state, and private scholarships. So this scholarship will make sure that your tuition and fees is paid for 100%. To be eligible, you must be a graduate of a Prince George's County Public High School within the last 2 years. You must be a resident of the county. You must be a first-time college student. Your dual enrollment status is exempt from that. You would be considered a first-time college student, and you must also be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, which is verified through the completion of a FAFSA. If you were to earn the Promise Scholarship, you can either pursue an associate's degree or a certificate. So there are options for students if they were to get this scholarship. I'm actually going to go to the actual application now because it is open. We do not have a firm deadline. Just to show you how simple this application is, it's going to ask you for your first and last name, your Pgcc student ID number, which you all have because you are a dual enrollment student. If you do not know your Pgcc student ID number, please reach out to your COAST coordinator at your school for that information. If you are at a school that does not have a COAST coordinator, please feel free to email scholarships@pgcc.edu, which will be in the chat for your reference, okay? Then you're also going to put your email address. I encourage you to put your personal email address, not your school's address, because once you graduate, high school, you will no longer have access to that. But please put a personal email address, one that you're checking regularly, your best contact number, your high school attended, when you're planning to enroll, which should be fall 2021, and then your anticipated high school graduation date. And then that's it. That's the entire application. There's no reference letters needed, no essays. This is it. I hope that seeing how short this is kind of motivates you to, I want to apply for the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship because I want my tuition and fees paid for 100%. It's mobile friendly. I would recommend, I'm not gonna say recommend, I'm going to pressure you to leave our session today and apply for the scholarship from your smartphone or your PC so that we can have your application so that when you graduate high school, you're already in line to potentially earn this scholarship, okay? And that's the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship. That's one of the many scholarships that Prince George's Community College offers to its students. This scholarship is only available to students who attend our college. You're not able to transfer it anywhere else, and students who receive this scholarship can receive it for up to 3 years. So most students take 2 to 3 years to earn their associate's degree. Your tuition and fees can be covered just by applying for this scholarship, okay? I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back to the presentation, because I'm going to show you some other scholarship opportunities. So we also offer foundation and institutional scholarships. So these are also scholarships only available to students who attend Prince George's Community College. So let's say you're a D2D student, which is short for dual to degree, and 50% of your tuition is taken care of. You're going to then look for additional scholarships to pay for that remaining 50% tuition. And I'm going to share this screen with you. So this link is to the Academic Works website, which will be listed in the chat feature. So in order to access and apply for these scholarship opportunities, you must use your OwlLink username and password, which is issued to every single Prince George's Community College student. So you all should have an OwlLink username and password. If you need assistance finding that information, again, reach out to your coast coordinator or to scholarships@pgcc.edu. But on the screen, you're going to see a list of scholarship opportunities available. The list is usually longer, but because the academic year has already started, some of these scholarships have already closed. They've been awarded already. But in the spring, there will be more listed because they're going to start awarding for next school year, for the fall 2021 academic year. But as you can see, there are a ton of scholarship opportunities here. So you're just going to, go through each scholarship and kind of read about it. I'll click this one. This is the Andrew P. Rennie Endowed and Memorial Scholarship. It shows the qualifications each student must meet in order to receive this scholarship. Usually it'll have award amount right here where it says varies, but this doesn't have a specific award amount, so it varies. And right now there isn't a hard deadline for which students must apply by. Another scholarship I'll click for as an example is the Dr. Kathy L. Warpshire Scholarship. Again, you're going to see those scholarship requirements students must meet. This actually does list the award amount. It's $600, which is $300 per semester. And don't be discouraged by the amount, because you can stack your scholarships on top of each other. You can receive more than one. This particular scholarship, students must write an essay. I know most students get intimidated when they see essay. No one wants to write an essay, but as you can see, this is only 200 to 300 words, which is 2 paragraphs really. But when you're going through each of the scholarships, you want to make note of all the requirements you must meet. If there's any additional information, like this one needs a essay. So you want to just make note of things that you need. And at the bottom, it says provide an additional recommendation letter. So unlike the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship, there are additional things that you must include with your application. But as long as you plan your time out, which I strongly suggest, you make note of that deadline, you make note of any additional documentation you must submit, like, you can submit your application as one of the first applications for any scholarship. The great thing about Academic Works, when you log in using your OwlLink username and password, there's only one general application. There's one application where you'll, put all your information, your name, your email, your program of study, AKA your major. You'll do that one general application and it will be applied to all the scholarships. The only thing you'll need to do is just check each scholarship to see if they need that additional information, such as that recommendation letter or that essay. You won't have to put in an application for each scholarship. And that's a great thing about Academic Works. As you can see, it says for questions, please email scholarships@pgcc.edu. So if you just need assistance completing any of the applications, just have general questions, please reach out to us so we can help you submit those applications so that we can get you that money that you need for your education. I'm going to pause for a second just so I see the chats kind of going off for a second. I just want to check to see if there's any information that can be addressed to everyone. Fatima asks, what is the difference between these scholarships? Each scholarship has different requirements and different amount of money provided. So each scholarship is provided by a different donor. Some donors are giving students $500. Some are giving students $1,000, $1,500, $3,000. And each requirement is going to be different. Some scholarships require you to be full-time. Some don't mind if you're part-time. Some is for nursing majors. Some are for STEM majors. You'll just have to go through each scholarship, drill and click on the name and just read a little bit more information about that scholarship and about, any additional information that you need. Okay. Someone asked, when can I start applying for scholarships? So Shayla, that's a great question. So like I mentioned, the Prince George's County Promise Scholarship is open today. When we're done with the dual enrollment information session this evening, I would encourage you to log on to visit the Pgcc website or that link that Matt provided in the chat and apply for that today as soon as possible. And then the scholarships that you see here, because you have an OWLING username and password, you can apply for these scholarships today as well. There's no deadlines listed right now, but that can change day to day because as soon as a scholarship is awarded, they will remove it. So to answer your question, you can start applying for scholarships today. And Matt also put that in the chat. All right, so I'm going to exit here again. And please forgive me for the back and forth. And then one more scholarship opportunity I want to share with you all is the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship, which is very popular and very confusing. That's two scholarships with very similar names. The Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship is very similar to the Prince George's Community College Promise Scholarship, but there are some key differences. So if you are a dual enrollment student that is unable to complete your FAFSA, your free application for federal student aid, the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship may be for you. This scholarship, students have the option to either complete their FAFSA or your MISFA, which is the Maryland State Federal Aid Application. Okay, Maryland State Federal Aid Application, the MISFA. And students that are ineligible to complete their FAFSA should be eligible to complete the MISFA. I am not a financial aid representative, so I can't go into much detail about those key differences, but if you email scholarships@pgcc.edu and you have like a more personal question or like more individual question, we will answer it the best way that we can. But the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship also will cover 100% tuition and fees after other aid is applied to your account for students who is pursuing an associate's degree or a certificate at a Maryland community college. Because you all should be residents of Prince George's County because you attend a PGCPS school, your Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship will be applied to Prince George's Community College unless we don't have your program of choice. Let's say the program you want to attend, we don't offer it, but Montgomery County Community College has it. You can apply this scholarship to Montgomery Community College. And that's one of the key differences in the scholarship is that it's just not for Prince George's Community College. Another key difference is that students, there is a household limit, which the adjusted gross income per household should not be more than $100,000 if the applicant is single or resides in a single parent household, or it's a combined income of $150,000 for two parent households. And that's all verified by submitting your tax information through your MISFA or FAFSA. I just wanted to mention the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship because students do get it confused. The scholarship, the application that I showed you, the first application I showed you is the application for the Prince George's Community College, which we review and we award. The Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship is reviewed and awarded through MHEC, Maryland Higher Education Commission. And that is a separate application process. So when you're receiving emails, you want to be sure to read who it's coming from. If it's from us, it'll say Promise Scholarship at Prince George's Community College. I believe MHEC's email it might be on here, promise@mhec.edu. I'm not completely sure, but in the email, it'll either say MHEC or it will say PGCC. So you are free to apply to either scholarship, but just be sure that you are making note of who the scholarship is being awarded by, okay? And that's just a couple of scholarship opportunities that is available. Again, because you're a dual enrollment student, there are, I don't know what happened. There are plenty of opportunities available to you. Can you all see my screen?
Not quite, Kiara.
Okay, I don't know where it happened to it. Okay, just give me a second, I'm sorry. Here we are, my apologies. Okay, so that's just a few of the scholarship opportunities available to you. Again, you're almost guaranteed to receive that 50% discount from your tuition and fees if you are doing well in your dual enrollment courses. So you're not getting below that C, you are meeting SAP, and you submit your D2D application, you're almost guaranteed that 50% tuition. But then, as I've shown you, there are additional scholarship opportunities to cover that remaining 50% balance, okay? So why do I need a scholarship? The goal, I'm clicking so fast. I'm not on my usual computer, guys. So that's why I'm kind of all over the place, but bear with me. So the goal of the Special Scholarships Program staff is to not only help make your experience as a PGCC scholar great, but to also provide you with the tools and resources to eliminate as much college debt as possible. I showed you, some additional scholarship opportunities because college debt is real. We don't want to be paying for our college education 30 years from now, 40 years from now. That's not what we want. And the great thing about the dual enrollment program is that you're already opening that gateway to have some of that debt knocked off. So I'm happy that you are in the program. This next slide I'm going to show you is just some information about the cost of to attend a public 2-year, public 4-year, or private 4-year. And this is just some information about the amount of scholarships that goes awarded and unawarded in U.S. colleges. So this information was pulled from the 2014-2015 kind of database for scholarships in the U.S. A public 2-year on average is about $4,122. Ignore that extra 2. It's about $4,122. And the amount of money that students can get in federal, private, and state and local aid is more than that amount. So it's important to look for scholarships because you can have your associate's degree paid for and even have some money left over. And let's just pretend we don't even have dual to degree. You're not getting that 50% discount just by doing your FAFSA that I mentioned earlier, or your MISFA. You can get federal, private, or state and local aid. On the right side of the screen, you see that $100 million. That's how much money went unawarded in scholarships for various reasons. So students didn't do their FAFSA. They may have put incorrect information on their scholarship applications, or they just didn't apply. That's a lot of money. And students, if they would have applied, $100 million could have went to about 14,000 students towards their tuitions. So the scholarships that I showed you, you know, there was a question, when can I apply? Today. You want to apply today, because whether you're receiving dual to degree, your 50% tuition grant or not, we want 100% of our tuition and fees paid for. So apply, apply, apply. And the scholarships I showed you today aren't even the only scholarships that's available. You can go to a search engine and type in scholarships, and you know, a list will pop up. If you belong to any banks or credit unions, they may be offering, you know, scholarships. If you're a member of a community center or a church, I mean, there's just scholarships everywhere. There's scholarships for being left-handed, for being a twin, for wearing glasses, being a first generation college student. Just make sure that you apply for as many scholarships as you can, not just at Prince George's Community College, but for any higher education institution you attend, okay? That's really important, guys. And then the special scholarships office staff, we're here to assist you in navigating the application process and finding those opportunities for you, okay? Okay, so next steps. So the first thing you want to do as a dual enrollment student is to stay in communication with your COAST coordinator. Your COAST coordinator is, you know, here to assist you with your transition from high school to college. You know, use them, ask them any questions, ask them, you know, can you help me look for scholarships? Oh, I have questions about my FAFSA. I would like to apply for the college. Where do I go? How do I do that? You know, can we talk about the programs that Prince George's Community College have to offer? Use your COAST coordinator. That's what they are there for. Again, if you don't have a COAST coordinator at your school, or you're unsure of who your COAST coordinator is, please shoot us an email at scholarships@pgcc.edu, and we will assist you in finding that information out for you. The next thing you want to do is apply to PGCC. We're accepting applications today for next school year. Mr. Raymond is actually going to walk us through some steps on how to apply to PGCC, but don't wait, you know, until the last minute. Secure your spot and start getting the information that you need so that you're prepared for when the fall starts after graduation, okay? And then finally, you want to complete your D2D application. The D2D application is not available today. It will be accepting applications later this semester. And when that application is available, your COAST coordinator will notify you when it's available. And again, you want to email us if you do not have the information of who your COAST coordinator is, okay? But that's it. And by doing steps 1 through 3, you're already on your way to 50% off your tuition and fees as a college student at Prince George's Community College, okay? Okay, so for this next portion of the presentation, we're actually going to hear from some current Prince George's Community College scholars. We're going to hear about their experiences as a PGCC scholar. I hope the information they share with you is informative. And again, if you have any questions for them, please put it in the chat, and we will try to address all the questions. On the call, we have Ilham and Giovanni, both PGCC scholars, both former dual enrollment students. I would like them to first start by introducing themselves, the high school they attended, and whether or not they are in their first or second year at the college.
Hello, you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, my name is Ilham Kabir. I came from Elder Roosevelt High School. I was in the class of 2020, so just recently I'm a first year Prince George's community college student. And yeah, when I started dual enrollment, I did it in like fall of this year. So that's when Corona happened. It was in the middle of my courses, and yeah, I mean it did affect some things, but like any class, if you go to a university, college, community college, doesn't matter. You should stay committed to all your courses. Make sure you're organized. Make sure you don't stray away from classes. I was in the false mindset of thinking, hey, it won't be too hard, like what could go wrong. But no, if you start to like stray away from your studies, then your grades will drop, and you shouldn't treat it like a high school course, which I'm sure none of you are, and I hope none of you are, because like many people say that the professors, they won't, hold your hand through everything. Like you have to make sure you're on top of everything and make sure you turn in all your coursework. Let's see. So the reason I chose Pgcc is, after doing my dual enrollment classes, I realized, hey, this is a pretty good place to, start off my education. Uh, Looked at all the courses I want to take advantage of whatever classes you can take. And my goal is to either graduate from Pgcc with associates, or transfer to a university of my choosing and graduate from there. But when it comes to Pgcc, I definitely support it. I want to do whatever I can to make sure, I can improve it while I'm still here or when I graduate. So yeah, that's my experience. Shivani?
Thank you.
Sorry. I don't know if you can see. Did I turn on my camera? Is it on?
I don't see you yet, but we hear you loud and clear.
All right, but okay. So I'm a second year at Pgcc. I graduated in 2019, and I went to Duval High School. Let's see, my major is early childhood education. And honestly, when I had graduated from Duval, I didn't plan on really going to college, because at the end of my senior year, I was already working 2 full-time jobs, and I was like, I wasn't stable, but I was comfortable in my situation. But I ended up going to Pgcc, was one, because it was close, and because I had heard that PG offers some scholarships, just from when I was in high school. Because when I was in high school, I wasn't really paying attention to like college stuff and all those other things, but I did manage to hear that PG was giving scholarships, and I ended up going there. And when I first applied to PG, I wasn't even sure like if, you know, the scholarship thing was true. And then I accidentally signed up for it, and now I'm in it, and I don't regret it, because dual's degree and just doing dual enrollment when I was in high school was really helpful. And I did do dual enrollment when I was in high school, but it wasn't necessarily for the college credits. When I was in high school, the only way you could get a halfway schedule was through dual enrollment. And that's honestly the only reason why I did it, because I wasn't planning on going to college when I graduated high school. But now I'm in college and I like it. It's pretty nice.
That's good to hear. Giovanni, while you're unmuted still, I hope, can you kind of describe yourself entering Pgcc versus now? Like, how has your transition been, or what have you learned during your time so far?
So I'll be very with all of like the high schoolers here. When I was in high school, my grades were some garbage. So I knew like that I wasn't gonna get into like UMD or UMBC or like any of these 4-year colleges, which is honestly part of the reason why I didn't bother applying or even really learning about any scholarship opportunities. Because it's like, I know when you're in high school, there's so much pressure to go into a 4-year or an Ivy League or all of these super fancy, expensive colleges. And not a lot of people talk about community colleges. And, you know, being lower income myself, like, I don't think I would be able to afford going to a 4-year straight out the gate, even if I did apply for scholarships, because my brother wasn't able to. But my transition from, initially starting out PG and now definitely was a journey. Going from having to kind of dial back, working so much, refocusing what I want out of college was definitely an experience. But PG was great because all my professors were great. I took pretty much all my prerequisites that I needed for the program that I'm in now in dual enrollment, which was really nice. I didn't even know I was doing it, but I guess I had done it. So when I landed in the program that I'm in now, they were like, hey, you're a quarter of the way done. And I'm like, cool, I don't have to work. But no, college, I feel is like way better than high school because in high school, you have someone breathing down your neck 24/7. And if you're like me, like, I don't want that. I don't want someone pestering me 24/7 to get your work done. In college, you get a syllabus with a list of dates and you do it. And it doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as it gets done. And for me, because it teaches you one responsibility, it teaches you punctuality, and it teaches you to be time efficient with your work. And that's things that you need in the real world. Trust me, I've worked like 60,000 jobs and I'm like 19.
Okay, Ilham, I saw you shaking your head. Yes, that college is way better than high school.
I could definitely agree with that. I definitely prefer college versus high school because in high school, like Giovanni said, like, people are constantly stressing you, telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that. And yes, sometimes it is helpful if you want to be lazy and just like lay back, have people tell you what to do. But in my opinion, in my experience, I like, just give me the plan, let me figure it out, let me do everything I need to do to get what I need to. Because it's my education, like what I want to do with it. And obviously I shouldn't do whatever I want with it, but I should do whatever the guidelines are and figure out what I need to do. And yeah, it does teach you a lot of responsibility for yourself and for upcoming future, for anything you need to do. So, yeah.
That's great to hear. So speaking about, teaching us things such as responsibility, time management and things like that, can you kind of talk about any specific events and other opportunities that you participated in since being under the Special Scholarships Program umbrella? So that can include, our scholarship nights, our community service, OSSA meetings. Can you kind of talk about your experience with that for our students?
Yeah, being a special scholarship student, so you're told that like you said, that you have to have community service hours, you have to be able to participate with the community, and yeah, you're given. So what we use is called Give Pulse. I'm sorry, my headphones are a bit buggy. So yeah, we use an app called Give Pulse where you could choose what type of event you want to participate in. Like just earlier today, I was I registered for it was like a virtual fair where I'm pretty sure in your high schools you had the college fair where many colleges would come and explain themselves. I attended the UMD transfer fair, and yeah, I had to do everything by myself. And you get into like the mindset of you write everything down. Like for me, I have an agenda book. You write everything down of what you do, a to-do list, a plan to plan, and yeah, it does teach you how to take care of yourself. And I really like that.
Okay, so really quickly, Matt, if you don't mind, kind of talking about OSSA, which is a student organization, which we encourage students in the Special Scholarships Program to join. Can you kind of talk about that organization?
I would love to, and then I'll kick it to Giovanni as well, because he was a part of an awesome trip that we had done last year, and I know he had some good things to say about it. But all of our D2D and some of our other scholarship students are automatically considered members of a student organization on campus, in my opinion, the best student organization on campus that is named Our Success Squad Ambassadors, OSSA for short. What we do, like Ilham was just kind of mentioning, and what Giovanni might talk about in a second after I'm done, is we try to provide the experience that is student focused, that's community focused, that's volunteer focused, that's professionally focused. And we try to make sure that whatever you are looking to do, whether it's meet new people, whether it's like Ilham and getting some resources for transfer, whether it's talking about getting a headshot and making sure your LinkedIn's on point and getting internships, we try to serve as the connection point to make sure that all students can accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. And we love to be a building block of that. Ethan asked a great question in the chat if there are mentors or advisors that assist first year students. We do have professional academic and career advisors that are specific to our scholarship students, but we also have numerous students who are in their second year who are serving as some of our student leaders that lead some of these meetings that help us figure out the best things to do. So to Ethan's question, and also to kind of wrap up my point, we try to give students power and to give students things to put on their resume and hopefully have them have fun in the process. Giovanni, I'm not sure if you want to, for example, talk about the conference that we went to last year that you were able to go to. I'm not sure if you had anything else to add outside of that too.
Yeah, so I actually have a lot to say. So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like when you hear 24 hours community service, and now it's 10, but when I first heard, I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, even if it is for money, like I don't want to do that. But the thing is, like, PG's community service is different than like getting your community service hours in high school. In high school, you had to like do all this paperwork, and it sucked. And when I went to PG, I've done some pretty cool stuff. Like this year, we went to NODA. NODA is a regional conference in New Jersey that's all about college retention and transfers and basically everything college in the Northeast. And you get to go with a bunch of people from four-year colleges, other community colleges, and you just meet a bunch of people and talk about and learn about college life, college things. And that was really great. I met some people that I went to school with that I didn't even know existed, and I'm still friends with a lot of them. I met a lot of people out of state, like who didn't even live in Maryland, which was really crazy because I'm still kind of friends with them too. But aside from like, oh, and it was free. I forgot to mention that. It was free. I also did a lot of cool things even before NODA. I went to another conference, which was about student leadership, which was also really nice. We got fed lunch. It was really good. Before COVID, we would go to things like, we would have events like game night, or we would have things like, we went to that one place with all the trampolines. I forgot what it was called. But that was really fun, and you meet so many really nice people. And part of it is getting out there and learning about, life at Pgcc. And another part of it is also engaging with the people that you go to school with. Because when you're in college, socializing is very different than when it is in high school. High school, it feels really cliquey. And when you're in college, there are no cliques. You just talk and learn from whoever you want to. And a lot of people have this misconception, like if you're from PG, if you go to Pgcc, it's like the 13th grade or whatever. And it's not. College is always what you make of it, and especially when you're in D2D and Promise, you get to do a lot of really cool, exciting, and new things. Like I had never been to that part of New Jersey before, and getting to go there free at a nice hotel, was really nice. And it's not even about like getting to do all these cool things. It's also going to school and getting these experiences now. So when you're prepared to go into the workforce, you know how to act, and you know what to say, and you know how to interact with people. Because when you're fresh out of high school, it's still a little bit different to when you kind of go into the adult world and college world, because there is, an adjustment period, and sometimes it's not as flawless. I know for me, it definitely was not flawless. But there also are a lot of people that you can talk to if you're like feeling iffy about it, or if you're not sure if it's right for you. When I first joined my first year, Mr. Kuzo actually was like a really big help, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what program to do. I don't know anybody here. And he kind of guided me through all of that. And even like service hours, like Mr. Kuzo has all of our numbers on file and he'll like send us events that we can do. And even like registering and seeing what the event was about isn't that hard. Like I think I went to all of my events 2 semesters ago and I didn't fill anything out until like a week before and I did it all in like a couple hours. So it's not a hassle. It's more of like you getting to know everything, you practicing those skills. And honestly, the hours aren't even a big deal because if you kind of plan a school to include it, it's way easier to transition. And it's fun. I don't, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I got to do a lot of really cool things. I met a lot of really nice people. I'm getting my degree and I'm not really paying for school. So it's like there's no real cons if you know what you want. And if you're here, then what you want is like a degree. So if you're about your degree and you know what you want, this is the way to get it without breaking the bank and being completely stressed out.
That sounds like an awesome mic drop moment, but I am going to ask each one of you just one more question before we go. I'm going to ask each of you to limit it to about 20-25 seconds, and then we'll go to some our very last closing remarks from Mr. Harad. So Ilham and Giovanni, as you put yourself and as you think about yourself as a let's say a senior in high school in the fall of your senior year, and you're thinking about what to do next, based on what you all did and based on where you are now and sort of, how you're at Pgcc now, what is something that you would recommend to all of our students who are attending this session tonight? What would you advise them to do between now and the end of senior year? So I'm not going to put a stopwatch on you, but try to maybe keep it 20-30 seconds for each of you. I'll let either one of you start.
All right, I'll just go first. So yeah, for me, senioritis does kick in. It definitely kicks in. It kicked me in my, well, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, no, it completely destroyed me in my last third quarter, fourth quarter. But no, don't let it overwhelm you. Make sure you stay on top of it. Finish the year strong. Like I'm pretty sure most of your counselors say, finish the year strong. And yeah, when it comes to your applications to whatever college, it could be here at Pgcc or any other universities, just don't be afraid to like apply anywhere, just go for it. Like the worst that's going to happen is a no. And like, so what? At least you applied and tried, and at least you know the answer rather than being scared of who knows what they would have said, So yeah, just go for it.
So what I would recommend if you're, up and coming and graduating, honestly, plan everything. Like as soon as you know about it, as soon as that open date opens, be on it and be on it fast, because there are a lot of other people who want the same things, and there are a lot of other people who will fight to get the same things. And even though DTD and Promise aren't necessarily like that, it's better to do it now and not have to worry about it in the future, as opposed to rushing and trying to get deadlines. And also just like, don't be afraid about any stigmas. Like community college is not bad, because at the end of the day, a degree is a degree and it doesn't matter where you get it from, as long as the college is accredited.
Thank you so much, Ilham and Giovanni, for speaking to our students today. Well, our soon-to-be students, I hope, about your experience as a Pgcc scholar. Mr. Raymond, that is the end of my presentation. Take it away.
First of all, I'm sitting here blown away by the presentation as well as the student perspective on everything. I'm literally here on mute like, oh my gosh, yes, keep that up, say that, encourage them. So I want to thank you, Kara, for the presentation, Matt. And for the students, I can't say enough about you being transparent and being open to share your experience at Prince George's Community College. And I think that it really drives the mission and vision of Prince George's Community College. The experience that you had, and we want every student who attends our institution to have that same type of experience. I do want to share my screen just for a quick second. I know we're approaching the 8 o'clock hour, and there may be some TV shows that some of you will have to catch. But I do want to talk about a little bit about our admissions process at Prince George's Community College. One of the questions that I get, first of all, can you all see my screen? Excellent, thank you. One of the questions I get all the time from students is, do I have to wait until I graduate or finish dual enrollment to apply to Prince George's Community College? I do want to encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Just as Kiara mentioned, with the Promise Scholarship, that you can actually start that process tonight. You can actually also apply to Prince George's Community College tonight as a high school senior if you plan to attend. Your application is good for 2 years. So many of you are, I'm sure, juniors and seniors in this session, so you can actually apply. I also want to mention that currently our application fee is waived. And our normal application fee is $25, but I do encourage you all to apply while the application fee is waived by the institution. But if you do come to a point where your application fee is not waived, I do encourage you to speak with your COAST coordinator or dual enrollment representative, because sometimes we have some ways to waive your application on our end as well. You'll see that the application and registration process as a first-time freshman at Prince George's Community College is fairly simple. You want to complete our simple application. I will admit that our application is not as simple as the Promise Scholarship application. However, if you do need support through that application, you can reach out to your COAST coordinator or one of our recruiters, and we'd be happy to assist you with that. As dual enrollment students, you would have already activated your OWLink account. You would have already completed your new student orientation. You would still need to apply for financial aid, either by completing the FAFSA or as Kiara mentioned, the MISFA. And then you can take the placement test, but also the test scores that you earned through dual enrollment will also apply to your apply to you as a first-time freshman at Prince George's Community College. And then we move on to the point where you meet with your academic advisor and register for your classes. The process is very, very simple. Many of the steps that most students have to take just coming in, you as former dual enrollment students would really have taken care of and really be accelerated through the process. So I do want to encourage you not to wait until January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August to apply to Prince George's Community College. But as Kiara indicated, with the Promise Scholarship application, go ahead and fill that application out tonight or this week or before Thanksgiving, so that you can be aware of all the opportunities you have to be an amazing Prince George's Community College scholar, just as the two students who shared tonight. I do again want to thank our presenters for sharing such valuable information with us on this evening. Sort of as a wrap up to our information session part 2, I do want to continue to remind you, as we've done throughout the general session, that the dual enrollment application window is November 9th through November 25th. Those applications should be completed solely through the dual enroll system, which you'll receive an email link for. I want to remind you that your COAST coordinators contact information can be found on www.pgcc.edu/COAST, so that you can find out who your COAST coordinator is. And then I'm also going to encourage you to complete our evaluation, and that information is listed on the screen. I'm also trying to figure out how to get that in the chat. I may actually have to stop sharing.
It's already in there, Raymond. No worries.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thanks. Matt is amazing. So I want to encourage you to complete our evaluation for these sessions, the general session and the breakout session tonight, if at all possible. Again, thank you for joining the dual enrollment information session part 2, and for particularly, more specifically, for joining the best breakout session of tonight, the session on how to become a Prince George's Community College scholar. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening. Thank you, T. right, looks like there are still two attendees hanging around. Ilham, Giovanni, Matt, Kiara's gone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I felt like I was a little bit rambly because I was nervous, but thank you.
No, hey, Matthew, can we stop the recording now, please?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.